The church was too quiet, though I could hear whispers floating behind me. My hands shook as I held the folded paper of my eulogy. My father's casket lay at the front, but my eyes searched the crowd instead. They stopped on him. Daniel, I whispered under my breath. My fiancé, my supposed strength. He was standing near the aisle, hands in his pockets, eyes fixed anywhere but me. When the pastor said, "Evelyn, would you like to speak now?" I rose slowly. I glanced at Daniel, silently begging, "Please look at me." He didn't. His gaze slid past me, cold, distant, as if I were a stranger. My throat tightened. "My father," I started, my voice trembling. I stared at the paper, words blurring. He was everything to me. A muffled sob escaped someone. In the back, I wanted to collapse, to lean on Daniel, to hear him whisper, "I'm here." But when I looked again, his arms were folded, his jaw stiff. He wouldn't meet my eyes. I forced the words out, choking. "He taught me how to be strong, even when life breaks you." I almost laughed bitterly at my own words. Life was breaking me, and Daniel was watching me shatter without moving a step closer. After the service, I walked outside into the heavy air. The sky threatened rain, fitting for the hollow ache in my chest. I heard footsteps. My heart leapt. Maybe he'd come. Maybe he'd finally say something. But it wasn't him. It was my aunt. "Evelyn, you did beautifully," she murmured, wrapping me in her arms. "Thank you," I whispered, though the words felt empty. Over her shoulder, I saw Daniel again. He was speaking to another guest, nodding, pretending as though I wasn't standing there with my world in pieces. I pulled away from my aunt and walked toward him. My voice cracked. "Daniel?" He turned his head, glanced at me, then back at the man he was speaking to. "I'll catch up later," he said to him, before facing me. For a heartbeat, I thought he'd say the words I longed to hear. But instead, he only muttered, "You okay?" His tone was flat, almost impatient. "You couldn't even look at me in there," I whispered. He rubbed the back of his neck. "I don't do well with funerals. You know that." My chest ached. "I wasn't asking you to do well. I was asking you to stand with me." His eyes darted away again. "I'll drive you home later." Tears burned at the corners of my eyes. "Forget it," I said, stepping back. I turned away before he could see me cry. The shame and pain felt heavier than the coffin we'd lowered into the ground. He ignored me when I needed him most, and that silence cut deeper than death itself. I sat in my car outside the house, phone pressed to my ear. His voicemail again. "Daniel, I needed you." I whispered, "I still need you." The line clicked. Silence. Always silence. I tossed the phone onto the seat and gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles whitened. Days bled into weeks and still nothing. No texts, no calls, nothing. A knock at the door pulled me from the haze one evening. I opened it to see Lily, her arms full of groceries. "Evelyn, you've lost weight," she scolded softly, brushing past me into the kitchen. "Have you even been eating?" "I'm fine," I muttered, though my stomach twisted at the smell of fresh bread. "Fine?" She turned, raising an eyebrow. "You look like you've been crying for days." "Because I have." My voice cracked, and I dropped onto a chair. "He hasn't called, Lily. Not once." Her face softened as she set the bags down. "Daniel?" I nodded, wiping my eyes. "I keep replaying it. At the funeral." I looked at him, begging him without words, and he just looked away. She sat across from me. Maybe he didn't know what to say. He didn't have to say anything. He just had to stand beside me. I clenched my fists. Was I that disgusting to him? Was my grief that ugly? "No," Lily said firmly. "Don't do that to yourself." She reached for my hand. "You loved your father. Anyone with a heart would have been there for you. If Daniel wasn't, that's on him." I shook my head. "But he was supposed to be my person. He promised me forever, and when forever started hurting, he disappeared." She sighed. "Do you want me to be honest?" I met her eyes warily. "Always. He's showing you who he really is," she said gently. "And maybe it's not who you thought." Her words stung, but deep down, I knew she was right. I whispered, "Why can't I stop hoping he'll show up? Every time my phone buzzes, I think it's him." "Because you loved him," she said simply. "Love doesn't switch off, even when it should." I buried my face in my hands. "Then what am I supposed to do? Sit here waiting?" "No." Lily stood, pulling me to my feet. "You live, you eat, you get up tomorrow, you keep moving." My voice broke. "Without him? With me," she said firmly. "You're not alone, Evelyn." her words wrapped around me like a blanket. But when she left, the silence returned, louder than ever. I sat in the dark, staring at my phone, waiting for a message that never came. The rain tapped against the office windows as I typed half-heartedly, my mind elsewhere. Maya leaned against my desk, her expression hesitant. "Evelyn, can I tell you something?" I glanced up. "If it's about my report, it's not finished. It's not about work." She lowered her voice. "It's about Daniel." My chest tightened. "What about him?" She bit her lip. "I saw him last night, at a restaurant, with someone." I froze. "With who?" "A woman." She hesitated. "They looked close." I forced a laugh. "You must have been mistaken. Daniel doesn't even go out much." Her eyes softened. "I wish I was mistaken. But Evelyn, I know what I saw." He was smiling, laughing. His hand was on her back. The air left my lungs. "No, he wouldn't. I'm sorry," she whispered. "I debated even telling you, but I couldn't keep quiet." I shook my head, anger bubbling. "He hasn't answered me in weeks and now you're saying no." "No, I have to see it myself." Later that night, I drove through the storm, heart pounding. I told myself Maya was wrong, that Daniel was faithful, that he wouldn't dare betray me. But as I pulled into the restaurant parking lot, my hope shattered. Through the glass, I saw him, Daniel, my fiancé, sitting across from a woman with dark hair and perfect posture. She laughed, tossing her hair, and he looked at her the way he used to look at me. His hand rested on her back, fingers tracing circles. I whispered to myself, "That's not him. That can't be him." But it was. I pressed my hand against the cold window, breath fogging the glass. "Why, Daniel? Why?" The woman leaned in and kissed his cheek. He didn't pull away. He smiled. Tears blurred my vision. I stumbled back, the rain soaking through my clothes as I rushed to my car. My phone buzzed, Maya checking on me, but I couldn't answer. I sat there, staring at the steering wheel, whispering. He ignored me at my father's funeral because he already had her. The betrayal didn't stab me, it gutted me. When I finally made it home, I called Maya. My voice shook. "It's true. I saw them." Her sigh crackled through the phone. "Evelyn, I'm so sorry." "Her name," I whispered. "Do you know her name?" "Yes, Sophia Lane. She's new in town. I've heard her name around." "Of course," I muttered bitterly. "She gets his hand, his smile, everything I lost." Maya's voice trembled. "What are you going to do?" I swallowed hard, staring at the ceiling. "I don't know. Part of me wants to scream, part of me wants to break, and part of me." I trailed off. "Part of you what?" "Part of me wants him to hurt like I do." Silence hung heavy between us until Maya whispered, "Then maybe it's time to stop waiting for him, Evelyn." I closed my eyes. The image of his hand on Sophia's back burned into me forever. I stood outside his apartment door, fists clenched. When he finally opened it, his face twisted with irritation instead of guilt. "Evelyn," he muttered, "it's late." I pushed past him. "Don't you dare act annoyed. You ignored me at my father's funeral, and now I see you with her." His jaw tightened. "Her? You mean Sophia?" My chest burned. "Don't say her name like it's normal, like it's nothing." He shrugged, arms crossed. "You're overreacting, overreacting." My voice cracked. "Daniel, I begged for your eyes that day. I begged for your hand, and instead, you gave it to her." He looked at me like I was a stranger. "You've been drowning in grief for months, Evelyn. I couldn't breathe around you." I staggered back. "So you found someone else to breathe with?" "She understands me," he said flatly. The words sliced through me. "And what was I? Just a burden? The woman you promised to marry?" His silence was worse than shouting. I whispered, "Say something. Tell me it was a mistake. Tell me you didn't mean it." Instead, he turned away. "I don't owe you that." My knees went weak. "After everything my father, us, you don't even owe me an explanation?" "Evelyn, you need to move on," he muttered. Tears blurred my sight. "Move on? You are supposed to be my safe place." He rubbed his temples. "I can't do this right now." "Of course not," I spat. "Because Sophia might be waiting for you." He flinched at her name but said nothing. My voice dropped to a whisper. "I hate that I still love you." I left before he could answer. That night, I collapsed into Lily's arms, sobbing until my throat burned. He said I was overreacting. I choked. Her hand smoothed my hair. "He's a coward, Evelyn. A selfish coward. I wanted him to fight for me, just once." "He doesn't deserve to fight for you," she whispered. You deserve better, so much better. I buried my face in her lap, hot tears staining her jeans. Why did I ever trust him? Why did I let him close enough to destroy me? Because you loved him, she said softly. But love isn't supposed to feel like this. I pulled back, eyes swollen. Then what is it supposed to feel like? Her gaze held mine. Safe, cherished, chosen, none of which he gave you. The words sank deep, but rage flared beneath my grief. Rage at him for shattering me. Rage at myself for handing him the pieces. I whispered into the dark. He'll regret this one day. I swear he will. The office lights buzzed faintly above me as I stared at the same spreadsheet for the 10th time. Numbers blurred into nothing. Evelyn. Mr. Thompson's voice cut through the fog. I blinked up at him. Yes. Mr. Thompson? He crossed his arms. You've been sitting here for an hour. That file should have been finished yesterday. I'll get it done. His eyes narrowed. You're distracted. Again. I gripped my pen tighter. I'm fine. You're not, he said sharply. Then softer. Whatever's going on outside this office, leave it there. I need you focused here. I nodded quickly. Yes, sir. But my chest ached with the weight of Daniel's face in my head. When Mr. Thompson walked away, Maya leaned over the partition. You okay? He was pretty harsh. I forced a shaky smile. I deserve it. I can't stop thinking about him. Daniel? She asked carefully. Who else? My voice cracked. Every time I close my eyes, I see him. I see that night. Him with her. Maya's face softened. Evelyn. Before she could finish, a notification pinged on her phone. Her eyes widened. Oh my God. What? I asked, dread crawling up my spine. She hesitated, then turned the screen toward me. A headline glared back. Daniel Reed proposes to Sophia Lane in lavish event. My breath caught. No, he didn't, Maya whispered. It's all over social media. Look. She scrolled pictures of Daniel on one knee, Sophia beaming, a diamond flashing under bright lights. I covered my mouth with trembling hands. He proposed to her? Publicly? Yes. She said quietly. I'm so sorry. The office noises faded. All I could hear was the memory of my father's funeral. Daniel refusing to look at me, his hand now holding hers instead. I whispered. He left me in the dark to stand in the spotlight with her. Maya reached for me. Don't look at it anymore, please. I shook my head violently. No, I have to see. I have to feel this pain because if I don't, it'll consume me later. Evelyn, you'll break yourself. I already am. I whispered. That night, Lily came over with takeout. She set the bag down and studied my face. You saw it, didn't you? I nodded, my throat raw. He proposed to her. The same man who wouldn't hold my hand while I buried my father now gets to stand beside her, smiling like he won the world. Lily's eyes glistened. You don't deserve this pain. I won't forgive him, I said, voice trembling with rage. Not ever. I'll remember the silence at the funeral, the lies, the betrayal. He can play happy with her. But one day, I clenched my fists. One day he'll pay for breaking me. Lily whispered. Then promise me you'll survive until then. I met her gaze. I promise. I'll survive. But I'll never forget. The night air was cool, damp from the earlier rain. I pulled my coat tighter and kept walking. Then I heard it. Evelyn. I froze. My name. His voice. Slowly, I turned. Daniel stood under the flickering streetlight, shoulders slumped, face hollow. I whispered, you. He stepped closer. Please don't walk away. My laugh came sharp, bitter. That's rich. You ignored me when I begged for you. Now you want me to stay? His lips trembled. I was wrong. Everything fell apart. I crossed my arms. Good. You earned it. Evelyn, listen, he pleaded. Sophia's gone. She left me 2 months ago, took what she could and disappeared. I tilted my head. And that's supposed to make me feel what's sorry for you. He swallowed hard. I lost my job too. They found out about things. I'm ruined. Ruined? I repeated coldly. You ruined me first. His eyes glistened. I didn't know how to handle your grief. I was weak. I thought I'd find comfort with her. But she never don't. I cut in. Don't you dare rewrite history. You abandoned me at my father's funeral. That's all I'll ever need to remember. He stepped closer, desperation pouring out. Evelyn, please. I don't have anyone else. I need your help. Just talk to me, please. I clenched my fists. Help you? After you shattered me? After you paraded your new love while I drowned alone? You think I'm your savior now? I'm begging, he whispered, voice breaking. You're the only person I ever truly loved. The words cut, but the wound was too scarred to bleed. I shook my head. Loved? If that was love, Daniel, then God help the people you hate. He reached out, trembling hand inches from my arm. Don't leave me like this, please. I have nothing. I stepped back, my breath steady but sharp. Now you know what nothing feels like. Silence stretched between us, heavy with everything unsaid. His shoulders caved, his gaze dropping to the pavement. Evelyn, his voice cracked. I'm sorry. I almost laughed again, but it came out as a whisper. Sorry doesn't resurrect trust. Sorry doesn't erase betrayal. Tears slid down his face, his body shaking. For a second, I saw the boy I once loved, but then I remembered the man who left me in ashes. I straightened my spine. You wanted me silent once, remember? Now it's my turn. He staggered forward, but I moved past him. My footsteps echoed against the wet pavement, each one lighter than the last. Behind me, his voice broke into the night. Evelyn. I didn't turn back, not once. For the first time, it wasn't me begging. It was him, and I walked away, carrying the power he had stolen years ago. The next evening, I found him waiting near my apartment steps, pale under the streetlight. Evelyn, Daniel said softly, please just hear me out. I crossed my arms. What more is there to say? You already begged last night. His chest rose sharply. I didn't tell you everything. I'm sick. I frowned. Sick? He nodded, hands trembling. Not dying. Not yet. Stress. Anxiety. The doctor says it's eating me alive. I stared. That's not an illness, it's consequences. His voice cracked. My company turned on me. Deals collapsed. Sophia drained me, emptied my accounts. I'm buried in debt. A bitter laugh escaped me. Sophia, your perfect choice? She left you hollow. And now you want pity? His jaw tightened. Not pity. Help. Evelyn, you work for Grant Thompson. He has connections. He could throw me a lifeline. If you asked, maybe I cut him off. You want me to beg for you? He shook his head desperately. No. Not beg, just speak to him. You're the only one he listens to. My stomach twisted. Do you hear yourself? You abandoned me at my father's funeral, mocked my grief with silence, then flaunted Sophia in front of me. And now you stand here asking me to rescue you? Daniel stepped forward. I know I don't deserve it, but you're the only one who can help me. I whispered, almost to myself. Why me? He flinched at the words but couldn't answer. His mouth opened, then closed again, like he was choking on guilt. I pressed harder. Why not one of your friends? Why not Sophia? Why not anyone you chose over me? I don't have anyone, he said hoarsely. They're gone, all of them. I shook my head. So you crawl back to the woman you left behind? The one you broke? Yes, he said simply. Because you're the only one who ever cared for me without conditions. I felt my throat burn. And you shattered that care like it meant nothing. He stepped closer, voice trembling. Please, Evelyn. One call to Grant could save me. Just one. I swear I'll never ask for more. The audacity stole my breath. I searched his face looking for remorse, for truth, but all I saw was need, selfish, desperate need. You want me to clean up the mess you made, I whispered. I want a chance to stand again, he replied. I can't do it alone. Silence wrapped around us, broken only by his uneven breathing. My heart pounded, anger and sorrow tangling inside me. Finally, I said, you should have thought of me when I was the one drowning. His eyes glistened. Evelyn, I turned away, my hand on the railing. I don't owe you anything. He reached for me, but his voice faltered into silence, and for once, I left him with no answer. I tossed and turned, my sheets twisted around me. Daniel's voice echoed, you're the only one who can help me. Lily's phone lit up my nightstand. I answered in a whisper. I can't stop thinking about it. Her tone was sharp. Then stop. He made his bed. Let him rot in it. I pressed a hand to my temple. But what if I can help? What if Grant? Evelyn, no. She cut me off. Grant is your boss, not Daniel's savior. You owe that man nothing. Silence stretched until I muttered, maybe mercy, mercy? She snapped. Where was his mercy when you were broken? He left you standing alone at your father's funeral. Don't rewrite history. Her words stung, but they were true. I know, I whispered. Later, Maya called after hearing the news. So he came crawling back? She asked, incredulous. Yes. My voice was faint. He's desperate, sick, alone. Karma, she declared, finally caught up to him. You don't need to lift a finger. But is that justice or cruelty? I asked softly. It's balance, she said firmly. Don't mistake his regret for love. He's using you, Evelyn. I bit my lip. Still, what if helping proves I'm stronger? Maya exhaled. Or what if helping just chains you to him again? Her words dug into me. My chest tightened, torn between anger and compassion. When the calls ended, the silence returned, heavier than before. I reached for the photo of my father on my desk. His gentle smile stared back at me. I whispered, "What would you tell me, Dad?" The room stayed quiet, but memory filled it with his voice. Don't let bitterness own you, Evelyn. Tears blurred my vision. But if I show mercy, do I look weak? The imagined answer was softer still. Strength isn't in revenge, it's in choice. I clutched the frame to my chest. My voice cracked. Then what do I choose? To save him? To watch him drown? The questions circled like vultures. My heart screamed for vengeance, but my soul trembled at the thought of cruelty. I buried my face in my hands. Why does having power feel so heavy? The clock ticked past midnight. My body trembled, but my mind wouldn't rest. Daniel's desperation replayed. Lily's fury echoed. Maya's certainty rang in my ears, and my father's words cut through them all. For the first time, the decision was mine alone. No one could force my hand. Would I let Daniel fall, proving to myself that I'd finally broken free? Or would I pull him up, risking the pain of carrying him once more? I pressed my forehead against the glass frame, whispering through the tears, "Dad, I don't know how to forgive, and I don't know how to destroy. All I know is I'm terrified of both." And in that fragile stillness, the night offered no answer. I agreed to meet him, though every step toward the calf felt heavier than the last. He was already there, hunched over the table, a cup untouched before him. His hands shook as if the porcelain itself rejected him. When I sat down, his eyes darted up. "Evelyn," he breathed, almost a plea. I folded my arms. "Why call me here?" I needed to say it. He stammered, "I'm sorry for everything." My chest tightened, but I kept my voice steady. "Sorry doesn't erase what you did." His head dropped. "I know, I abandoned you. I chose her. I thought I was building a future, but it was all empty." I stared at him, remembering that cold day at the funeral, his silence louder than any insult. "You left me when I needed you most. I was weak," he whispered. "Cowardly. I can't change it." I leaned forward slightly. "Then why ask for my help now?" He hesitated, eyes glistening. "Because you're the only one left who ever truly cared. Everyone else gone." A bitter laugh escaped me. "You're wrong. I stopped caring the moment you turned your back on me." He flinched, swallowing hard. "Evelyn, please, don't say that. It's the truth." My words felt like knives, but my voice held steady. His hand trembled across the table. "I never stopped loving you." "Not really." I pulled back, the air thick between us. "Don't twist love into an excuse. Love doesn't abandon. Love doesn't humiliate." Tears pooled in his eyes. "Then what do I have left?" I exhaled slowly. "The consequences you earned." His lips parted, desperate. "So that's it? You'll let me drown?" I studied him, the man who once seemed unshakable now shattered before me. And I realized something. I didn't need revenge. I already had it, sitting across from me, begging for air in a storm of his own making. "I won't save you, Daniel," I said softly, each word deliberate. His face crumbled, shoulders collapsing under the weight of my refusal. A tear slid down his cheek, falling into the untouched coffee. "Please," he whispered again, but it carried no strength, only defeat. I stood, my chair scraping against the floor. My pulse was calm, steady. He looked up at me with hollow eyes. "Evelyn, don't leave me like this." For a moment, I almost pitied him, but then I remembered the grave, the silence, the cruelty of his choice. That pity hardened into resolve. I leaned down just enough for him to hear. "You left me first." And with that, I walked away. My steps felt lighter than they had in months, as if the air itself had shifted. Behind me, he didn't follow. He couldn't, for once. He was the one left behind. The news came to me not through Daniel, but through whispers. "Did you hear?" A coworker murmured in the office kitchen. "Daniel Hayes's company went under. Millions lost." I froze for a moment, then forced myself to stir my coffee as if it meant nothing. Later that evening, Maya shoved her phone in my face. "Evelyn, look. It's everywhere. On the screen." Headlines screamed, "Hayes Enterprises declares bankruptcy." I kept my voice flat. "So it's true." She studied me carefully. "Do you feel anything?" I shook my head. Nothing at all. Come on, she pressed. Not even satisfaction? After everything he did to you. I set the phone down. Why should I? He did this to himself. I don't need to celebrate. Maya leaned back, arms crossed. That's cold. Cold, I repeated softly. Or free. She frowned. Free? I met her gaze. For years, I carried his choices like chains. Now he's destroyed himself without me lifting a finger. Isn't that enough? Her expression softened. I guess karma works fast when pride runs the show. I almost smiled. Karma speaks louder than I ever could. The next day, Lily called. Evelyn, did you see the news? I saw. Her tone sharpened. Sophia left him too. Sold what was left and ran. I let out a hollow laugh. Of course she did. Loyalty was never her strength. Doesn't it feel good? Lily asked. I thought for a moment before answering. Good isn't the word. It feels distant, like watching a storm destroy a house you once lived in but no longer care about. Silence lingered on the line. Then she whispered, You're stronger than I thought. No, I corrected softly. Just finished. When I hung up, I sat quietly by the window, staring at the dim street below. The world moved on. Cars passed. Strangers laughed. Somewhere, Daniel was drowning in consequences. And me, I felt nothing. No joy, no sorrow. Just an emptiness that was strangely liberating. I didn't check for updates after that. Didn't search his name or follow the headlines. His downfall was no longer my story to witness. He had written his own ending. And for once, I wasn't part of it. Are you sure about this? Lily asked as she sat beside me in the therapist's waiting room. Yes, I said, clasping my hands together. I can't carry all this alone anymore. She smiled softly. Good, because you've carried it far too long. When the therapist welcomed me in, I hesitated at the door. She gestured gently. Whenever you're ready. I sat down, exhaling slowly. I don't even know where to start. Wherever it hurts most, she replied. And so I began. Weeks passed, and the more I spoke, the lighter I felt. One evening, Lily tugged at my arm. Enough crying for one lifetime. Come out with me tonight. I frowned. I don't dance. She laughed. Then you'll drink, laugh, and watch me make a fool of myself. Hours later, music thumped through my chest as I sat at a crowded bar. Lily spun under neon lights, grinning at me. Come on, she shouted over the beat. I shook my head. I'll spill my drink. Her laugh was contagious. Then spill it. Just live a little. I couldn't help but laugh back. For the first time in months, it felt real. T work. Things shifted too. Grant stopped by my desk one morning, dropping a folder. This project, he said, is yours. I blinked. Mine? He nodded. I've seen your focus lately. You've earned more responsibility. My chest tightened with something close to pride. Thank you. I won't let you down. You'd better not, he said with a rare smile. When Lily heard, she squealed. Big projects, therapy, nights out, you're practically reborn. I rolled my eyes. Don't exaggerate. I'm not, she insisted. You're different, stronger, lighter, like you finally cut the chains. Her words echoed in me long after she left. A week later, my therapist asked, How do you see yourself now? I hesitated before answering. Not broken anymore, just sharper, freer. She smiled. That's growth. One night, I stood in front of the mirror, staring at my reflection. The girl who once drowned in grief, who begged for scraps of love, wasn't staring back. Instead, I saw someone rising, piece by piece, stronger than before. Lily's voice from earlier rang in my head. You're practically reborn. Maybe she was right. At my father's grave that weekend, I placed fresh flowers and whispered, I'm okay now. I'm moving forward. The wind rustled gently, almost like an answer. I wasn't the broken girl at the funeral anymore. Every step forward was proof Daniel's betrayal hadn't destroyed me. It had rebuilt me. The cemetery was quiet. The sky washed in gold. I stood at my father's grave, clutching a single white flower. Hi, Dad, I whispered, my voice trembling. I made it through. The wind shifted, brushing against my skin. I took a shaky breath. It was harder than I ever imagined. Some nights I thought I'd never escape the darkness. My throat tightened, but I forced the words out. But I did. I'm still standing. Behind me, footsteps crunched over gravel. Lily stopped a few feet away. You okay? I nodded slowly. Yeah, for the first time. I think I am. She stepped closer. You've come a long way, Evelyn. I know. I smiled faintly. I used to think revenge would fix everything. That watching him fall would heal me. And did it? She asked gently. No, I admitted. It was empty. His downfall belonged to him, not me. Lily tilted her head. So what belongs to you now? My survival, I said firmly. My strength, my freedom. Her eyes softened. That's more powerful than revenge. I knelt, laying the flower on the grave. Dad, I don't carry his betrayal anymore. I carry your words. Don't let bitterness own you. For a moment, the silence wrapped around me like an embrace. Lily touched my shoulder. Ready to go? In a minute. She nodded and stepped back, giving me space. I leaned closer to the headstone. I thought I was broken, Dad, but I'm not. I'm whole again, stronger, sharper. I'm not his victim anymore. Tears slid down my cheeks, but this time they weren't heavy. They were light, almost freeing. I forgive myself, I whispered, for loving him, for losing myself, for holding on too long. The sun dipped lower, painting everything in amber. When I stood, Lily asked softly, "What are you feeling right now?" "Peace," I said without hesitation. For the first time in years, she smiled. "Then let's hold on to that." As we walked toward the gate, she slipped her arm through mine. "You know," she said, "you're different. You laugh easier, breathe deeper. You've let him go." I nodded. Because his story isn't mine anymore. Mine is about rebuilding, about choosing life. She squeezed my arm. And about dancing with me until our feet hurt. I laughed through the tears. Exactly. At the gate, I turned back one last time. The grave glowed under the fading sun. "Goodbye, Dad," I whispered. "And thank you. I'll keep living. I promise." Then I walked away light, unchained, and free.